Hello, everyone, and welcome to the podcast, How to Maintain Happiness Throughout Your Life. I'm Alex. Today, I'm going to do an off the cuff talk. I'm probably going to put these out once in a while because I don't want the channel to be just a straight book review on things. So, today, one of the things I'd like to talk about is finding your passion. This term has been bandied about for quite some time now. You see life coaches and spiritual gurus and all those people talking about that. So before I get into it, I'd like you to just take a moment and when you heard the word passion or finding your passion, what exactly does that mean to you? And just take a moment to think about that. And then when we actually look at the dictionary, I went to dictionary.com and they define it as passion is any powerful or compelling emotion or feeling as love or hate, which, of course, we don't want to pursue things we're hatefully passionate about. But I really think that there's what we've been taught has been sort of misguiding us. I don't think that this is such a massive goal that we should all strive towards. I think it's important. It's great if you happen to find your passion, and if you happen to be making money doing what you're passionate about, then that's great. That all the more power to you. But I think for many people, that's not going to be the case. And that leads me into my next point is that your passion is not your job. Uh, I would argue that a lot of good paying jobs, um, I don't see how anybody could be passionate about. Like accounting, I don't know how people enjoy that, but accountants get paid very well. And I'm sure that there are a handful of accountants who are very passionate about it, but I'm sure there are many accountants who are more interested in how well they're paid than they are about the love of their job. And this leads me to the point: is that we tend to put certain professions, like doctor, lawyer, accountant, CEO, we put these professions on a pedestal as something to aspire to. And I think that's misguided. I don't often it's linked between the job or the profession and the money, right? Because these are all professions that do pay very well. But research clearly shows that there's not a link between more money and more happiness. So while it's great for those people that, they get paid well, I'm sure that there are a lot of unhappy CEOs, lawyers, and doctors out there. And so, and another thing, it's like, think of someone who works at the DMV. I'm Canadian, we don't have DMV, but we call it, I'm in Ontario, so we have the MOT, it's the same thing. But that person who issues you your license, right? Would they be very passionate about their job? Maybe there's some people, but I mean, it's a job. The reason why they're getting out of bed, going in and logging into that computer and speaking to people all day and handing out, license plates and driver's license is simply because it's paying the bills. It keeps a roof over their head, food on the table. Maybe they can afford to use some of that money to entertain themselves from time to time. Maybe they can even make enough to go for a vacation once in a while. But in terms of getting out of bed and being energized, oh well, this is a passionate job. I'm doubtful on that. And this reminds me one time. I'm dating myself here, of course, but there used to be a show called Married with Children. Ed O'Neill was in, and Katie Seagal. From 87 to 97, the show ran. And Al Bundy was the main well, one of the main characters. He was like the father of the household. And this episode really stuck with me because um, I think what he was saying was important, and he was talking about. I can't remember whether he used the word hero or nothing like that, but he goes, "Look, I get up every day. I go into my job, selling shoes, and I'm supporting a wife and family. My life is very simple, but I'm slogging through every single day. And you may think that this person's a hero, but I'm actually the hero for doing that." And I happen to agree with that. I think that you know those people who live ordinary lives are the heroes of the world, not the big um, not the big celebrities or billionaires that we hear about. These are the people who have everyday struggles and modest means, and they get through life. They get through another day. And then another thing too is that I went to school for music, and I never worked full time as a musician. And a lot of people would say to me, "Oh well, why don't you do music full time?" Well, if you know anything about the music industry or anything in the arts, the pay is very poor. It's a tough life, and I chose to have a more comfortable life over following my passion because if you do know any full time musicians in your life, I'm sure maybe not all of them. Some of them do make a living, and some of them are quite comfortable in terms of the income that they make. But many musicians they worry about how they're going to pay the rent, and many musicians that I know, they don't go on vacations. The only time they travel is when there's a paying gig at the other end of the tarmac, for is the way I would put it. That's the only reason why they'll get on a plane, because they can't afford it otherwise. Um, so so what I like to propose is, back when I asked, what does passion mean to you, or finding your passion, I would like to propose the idea that make it smaller. It doesn't have to be something big. You don't have to go out and save the world, cure the world of poverty or disease or whatever. If you have a job and you're supporting a wife and children, I don't think they'll be too happy if you decide to quit your job to go, feed children in some third world country, or bring clean drinking water. Those are very noble goals, but um, it's not. There's something you don't want to abandon your family to do. So sometimes it can be, just simply ask yourself, what brings me joy in life? It can be as simple as having a glass of wine with your spouse, going out to a movie, or going out for a nice walk, or watching a sunset. And if when people ask you what is your passion in life, that's a perfectly valid answer. It's the little things, and I do think that we do live in a society where we don't have enough gratitude for the simple pleasures in life. For me, I like going out to Starbucks and getting a coffee and a cookie. It's a simple that oddly enough brings me a lot of joy. This is not a plug on Starbucks. This is just my personal thing. But think of something like that. What are the little things that bring you joy in life, and do more of that. And then the other thing too is that, let's say you do find your passion, but a reality is that life is constantly evolving. You're not the same in your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, your 50s, your 60s, or into retirement. Life will always be different. And many times, and this has happened, you've heard of like CEOs. They cash in their stock options, quit their job, and move into a cabin in the woods. You know, it just was no, and I'm sure as they held that job for probably it's some period while they held that job, they were energized and passionate about the job. But then eventually, their things change and their values change, and that's no longer a passion for them. Um, and there are many other things. Like an example, I don't know if he still does, but I have a work colleague who was passionate about skiing. But I don't think he does it anymore. I think maybe his knees got, a little damaged depending on the sort of skiing he was doing. But he had to give that up, and then he had to find another passion. So there's no. That's another thing to keep in mind is that finding your passion is a constantly evolving thing. It's never going to be the same. You may find a passion and you may be very happy, but there may also come a point at which uh, that passion no longer serves you. Certainly, for some people, yes, they found their passion, and Jane Goodall, I think, would be a perfect example of that. She found her passion, and she followed that throughout her entire life, which is also good. I'm not knocking that either. And then I'm right now reading the book on atomic habits, and I will do a book review on that. And I just want to give you a little teaser here is in the book, the author I may get this wrong. I'm not going to say the author because it's escaping my mind right now. But the author states that it's actually not good to have goals. We focus too much on the end product. So I'll get more into that, but that sort of ties into this thing is that finding your passion is like finding a goal, but goals are end states, and the problem with end states is that things change, and it may no longer be a valid end state at some point in time in the future. So basically, in summary, keep searching for passion. Keep looking for things that you find bring you joy in life or energize you, and that you feel, quote, passionate about. Do you love? You have a powerful love to do this activity. And if it turns into a job, then all the more powerful to you. Really be very, very thankful, because very few of us get to do that. But, if it turns out that your passion is not your job, then by all means, engage in that passion. Because life, I guess this is where I want to end it. Life is meant to be enjoyed. And the more things you can do in life, we can't enjoy everything that we do in life. I don't like doing dishes, but I still do them every day. But as we got to do our best to try to find the things that bring us joy as much as possible in life, and to increase the amount of joy that we do experience in life. So thank you for listening, and take care, everyone.